What is a triathlon club, and should you consider joining one?
Yes, we are going to be delving into the potential benefits of joining a tri club. And if we don't convey those ourselves, we are going to be hearing from some enthusiastic tri club members telling you why they are part of a club.
Yeah, and please do support the channel by giving us a like on today's video, and if you're not doing so already, give us a subscribe too.
Community,
Motivation,
knowledge,
travel sharing.
equipment access.
Well, these are just a few of the first things that spring to mind when thinking about the benefits of a triathlon club. I guess you could think of it like any community or group. You're there to help each other, make things easier, more fun, share learnings, experiences, and just generally be part of something bigger than yourself and your individual efforts.
Yeah, it all sounds rather positive. So with that in mind, we thought that we should actually head along to a triathlon club and join in on some of the sessions to find out what it's really all about. Well, we've come along to Frome Triathlon Club as well. It's our local and they've let us join. And as you can see, there's a real array of athletes. You've got those high performers aiming for the really top results. You've got athletes here who are doing it for fitness, some just for social, and well, anything in between really.
Yeah, today we're hoping to find out why they have joined this particular triathlon club. But to do so, apparently we have to join in for their swim session.
I really hope it's not a hard one. I mean, we've already missed the warm-up.
But we have
Oh yeah.
been provided a Frome Tri cap, initiated,
So you won't spot us in there.
Well, I started doing the back to basics swimming so I could actually improve my swimming, and that's been like my biggest achievement is to get better at that. Yeah, so basically that was the reason why I joined triathlon, because I was already a runner.
I was a pretty average runner. I had a bike and I did a bit of cycling, and my swimming was really awful. So I was talking to a friend of mine who was a member of the Tri Club, and he said, why don't you come along and give it a go? So I came and joined for a couple of swim sessions, and it's the first time since I was a child that I'd had swimming lessons that actually tried to correct my stroke. So I found it really enjoyable, and the idea of being in a group and a friendly team was really motivating.
I hadn't done any exercise properly since I was about 16, and I'd just done like a back to basics run, and then that club had come to an end, and a friend of mine at work was doing one and got all of her kind of colleagues to come along and do one, and yeah, it just kind of, I've never been able to ride a bike, so coming along and joining a club and trying to learn some basics about how not to fall off on a corner kind of appealed from that point really.
I would say like determination and just not giving up, you know, even if things don't go to plan.
I've learned to try and temper my competitive nature, try and listen to the coaches, try and work to my heart rate, try and focus on technique. It's not all about the energy you put in, but more about the technique. It's been really useful for me.
I think generally that once you kind of start getting into it, they become quite addictive. So there are lots of people here who've done multiple Ironman that's just slightly crazy, but actually it doesn't really matter. It's the kind of coming along and getting to know people and just challenging yourself. And I think that's it. It's one of those things where you're not really doing it to win. You're just kind of doing it to give yourself that next challenge and try something different.
Well, session done and dusted with my new friends here at Frome Tri Club. It's been a great crack. I definitely would not have done this tonight had I not joined in with this session. And it's just been nice getting to know everyone. Might come again.
You've probably noticed that all of the athletes you've seen training so far are adults. So yes, Frome Tri Club caters predominantly for adults, but there's a lot of clubs that do have great children and young person setups. And here in the UK, a lot of those will be guided by British Triathlon and feed into the performance pathway. So a great way for identification. But obviously we know that triathlon clubs are different all around the world. So if you're in a club that has a completely different setup, do let us know in the comments section below. But you've probably also noticed and seen the coach giving tips tips, and also the athletes chatting amongst themselves. And when you're new to triathlon, there's a huge amount to learn, but there's only so much you can learn from reading books or watching YouTube even, and going through the rules. But it's so much you get from osmosis of just being with others, but also those tips that you can get in these valued coaching sessions.
Carry that speed through the corner. There we go. Start wide and then follow those tones in around the corner.
Now, you might be concerned about the extra cost of joining a club, because I mean, triathlon is expensive enough to start with, and then having to pay out something extra. But look at it as actually a potential to save money, because you've got so many opportunities to potentially share travel to training and to competitions. You can get kit that's cheap and secondhand, or maybe even borrow kit. And then there's the use of facilities, maybe going on training camps, sharing accommodation at races, and in these training setups, well, you'll be paying a really small amount to get some expert coaching, but also the use of some great facilities.
Hey, that was good fun.
You look like you were smiling lots, which was always a good sign.
Yeah, it's just really welcoming, this club, and yeah, just had a really good time. I couldn't believe the hour just went by like that, because we were just chatting away throughout, and it was really nice as well, just going through some of the skills, which I definitely needed a bit of brushing up on.
I'm sure they were watching you. Well, I expect we, or more likely the triathletes at Frome Tri Club, have convinced you that you need to start looking for your local club. But before you do, just a couple of things that we want to make you aware of.
Yeah, so there are almost a few different forms of clubs that you may come across. So you've got coaches that may have athletes that actually pay like a monthly fee for coaching, and there may be a bit of a team setup. You've then got something somewhere in the middle, a coach that maybe also does group sessions with their team of athletes. But then you've also got the more traditional clubs like Frome Tri, where they'll have maybe a lead coach, volunteers helping to run the club, but then lots of sessions below that. Yeah,
and that's probably your best way for getting the most out of a community. You'll see the biggest presence. But you guys do go away and do your research. But if you're already in a club and you love it and you want to give it a shout out, please do. This is your chance. Do it in the comments section below. If you've got any questions about what sort of club or anything else you need to look for, well, also let us know. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. A big thank you to these guys for joining us, and well done, Mark, for getting your bike kit on. Yeah.